Welcome to Mindflow Radio.
We are creating conscious community by sharing mindful manifesting skills and transcendental music.
We are all in this
Together.
Don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Woke up this morning, smiled at the rising sun. 3 little birds sat by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of a melody pure and true. Yeah, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I woke up this morning, smiled at the rising sun. 3 little birds sat by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of a melody pure and true. Yeah, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
Welcome to Mindflow Radio.
Mindflow Radio.
She's Jalen.
And he's Monty.
And we're here in the eternal present.
Yep, the eternal April present.
Yes, happy spring, everyone.
Happy spring. I love spring. Spring is definitely my favorite season.
All right.
So today I was thinking about sharing this poem. I was a hitchhiker a long, long time ago. Not something I recommend, but it is a part of my past. And I was 18 with a backpack. And one of the treasured items in my backpack was this book called A Gift of Peace, Selections from A Course in Miracles. And I would read from it when I felt like it. And I was looking for something to read at a class I led this week. And I opened this book, and there was a feather in it that I think has probably been there since I was 18. So, and I read this poem, and I was just blown away by how relevant this is for all of our lives. So I've decided to read it here, and we'll talk about it afterwards. The resolution of conflict and war. Conflict is sleep, and peace awakening. There must be doubt before there can be conflict, and every doubt must be about yourself. It is only the wish to deceive that makes war. No one at one with themselves can even conceive of conflict. Conflict is the inevitable result of self-deception, and self-deception is dishonesty. War is the condition in which fear is born and grows and seeks to dominate. Peace is the state where love abides and seeks to share itself. Conflict and peace are opposites. Where one abides, the other cannot be. Where either goes, the other disappears. So is the memory of God obscured in minds that have become illusion's battleground. Yet far beyond the senseless war it shines, ready to be remembered when you side with peace. Only the trusting can afford honesty, for only they can see its value. Honesty does not apply only to what you say. The term actually means consistency. There is nothing you say that contradicts what you think or do. No thought opposes any other thought. No act belies your word. And no word lacks agreement with another. Such are the truly honest. At no level are they in conflict with themselves. Therefore, it is impossible for them to be in conflict with anyone or anything.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot there. That's really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to say my favorite line because I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
So the memory of God obscured in minds that have become illusion's battleground.
Yeah. So one way to look at that line is just the minds that are super agitated. It's like your mind is like a lake, and maybe the higher power is the sun that shines above the lake. But if your mind is agitated, it's all full of waves, and the sun just can't penetrate into the lake. It can't reach the bottom of the lake because everything's all just wavy and waves crashing and wind blowing. But if we can still the mind, and then the sun just shines right and illuminates the entire lake, it kind of gets back to the point of how everything does start in the mind. That's what I love about that quote. It's like, if we want to end warfare,
we have to end it in ourselves first.
Yes.
And that takes so much courage, because to separate yourself from the norm of let's get irate, let's pick sides, let's that's the norm in our culture, is to pick a side, and if you haven't picked a side, then in my opinion you're on the other side. And what this is saying is the only way that you can help in any kind of conflict is to take yourself out of the conflict inside yourself.
Yeah, find that true and lasting peace within your own mind, and then there's no need to go to war with other people.
Right. And like the line, it is only the wish to deceive that makes war. No one who's whole with himself can even conceive of conflict. And this is a thing that goes on in our culture, where if somebody is really truly just at peace and trying to help others to find the peace within, they can be attacked for not being upset and not getting into the narrative and not, again, picking sides. And the whole issue is that we have to find that peace within so that we're not in conflict with ourselves anymore. And that is like this hugely difficult concept. But all the real sages of our world, all the real spiritual teachers throughout time say the same thing.
Well, it's interesting because one of the points of that poem is that our words need to be aligned with our thoughts.
Mm-hmm. And our actions.
But I mean, it's common nowadays for people to talk about love and, just all that, the higher power. But then in their minds, they're holding all this resentment and actually hatred towards a certain group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then so their words are not in alignment with their thoughts. So they're in conflict with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, that's where the whole we're at war with ourselves. Yeah.
That's where it begins.
But if we can really line up if I say compassion for all people, and if I can really align with that in my mind, in my thoughts, in my beliefs, and really hold that, then I'm not in conflict.
Right.
Yeah, then I'm in harmony with myself. That's another nice term for that. It's like if we can become in harmony with ourselves, then we can be, and collectively, if we can achieve that, then of course we won't be at war.
Right.
Of course not.
And now is so important. I can't even explain to you in a short mere minutes why this is so important right now, but I can tell you that astrologically speaking, this is a very, very key moment in human history that we are making our vote. We are making our energetic vote right here, right now. What side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side of conflict, or do you want to be on the side of peace? And again, this is all an internal choice.
Yeah.
So it's an internal knowing. Well, what am I choosing? Am I choosing to have one thing that I say and another thing that I think and another thing that I do?
Yeah.
That inner conflict, the inability to be integrated.
Yeah.
And we have about 2 years in what I understand about astrology. We've got about 2 years to make this vote and to hold the tone. And I've been sharing this a lot with a lot of people in meditation and in sessions where it's all about the tone you hold. It's about the intention you choose and the tone you hold to move towards that intention. And I've been asked, well, what does it mean to hold a tone? And I said, it's to remember your intention and redirect to it over and over and over and over and over again.
Okay. And when you're able to redirect over and over and over and over, what you're doing ultimately is reprogramming your thinking, your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what actually needs to change. And that's why it's not easy either, because we hold these beliefs deep in our subconscious. These fears.
I don't even know if it's subconscious. I know it's unconscious.
Well, it's
for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the same, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we have our conscious beliefs, but then we have the subconscious fears and anger, and that's what we need to...
Our ancestral lines of reactions and responses.
Yeah, and we look throughout our history as humans. I mean, we've always, up till now, had these enemies, and had people to fear, and had people to hate, and we've always been at war, essentially. So now it's like, maybe we can shift that. But it takes a lot of effort to reprogram that subconscious. Like you said, you have to keep repeating something over and over and over, and really deeply ingraining a new belief into the mind is not a simple thing to do, but it is possible. And I would argue that we're destined to do this.
Well, yeah, we're here now.
Well, I mean, we're destined to find peace in our own minds, and find peace with each other, and live in harmony. And people people will laugh at that. They're like, well, we're always going to be at war. That's what people do. And it's like, have you ever heard of evolution or a quantum leap into a new way of being?
Well, yeah, we've got, again, astrologically speaking, many signs that point to that quantum leap that you're talking about. And we're in, as some astrologers would say, the dawn of the dawn, the crack of the dawn of the age of Aquarius. And it's real. The thing that I would have to share that I've understood is that it is like 135 years away. But we're still holding that tone. We're still holding the tone of holding the outcome, imagining this harmonious world, and removing ourselves from the old loops, the old patterns, the old conflict within.
Right. And as far as conflict within, another obvious way we can reduce the conflict within ourselves is really by just watching our own self-talk. And if we're beating ourselves up, if we're calling ourselves names, if we're judging ourselves, then bam, we're at war with ourselves right there.
I'm at war with myself a lot, honestly.
Well, I think most of us are. Yeah. Essentially.
That's a product of the, everything that's come before.
Well, and the culture we live in.
Exactly.
I mean, culturally speaking, we're trained to kind of beat up ourselves so we get insecure and buy more stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to look a certain way. You need to drive a certain car. You need to buy a certain ring. You need to.
And the girl is the prize.
Yeah. But that's just cultural kind of capitalistic training that we need to overcome as well.
Exactly. And the first part of overcoming any kind of unconscious addiction is
noticing.
Yep.
Being that metacognition, cognition of cognition, being aware of what's going on in your mind.
Absolutely.
Being aware of your self-talk. And that's the easiest way, I would argue, to reduce judgmental self-talk is to stop judging others. Because that's the reality is the mind gets in a habit. And if I'm way into the habit of judging others, then when I make a mistake, bam, I'm judging myself.
Yeah.
So like what Jesus said, forgive them.
They know not what they do.
Yeah. I mean, if we can get into that place of forgiveness, self-forgiveness, it's a big deal. Forgiving others, it frees us. It frees our minds up. So if we cling to not being able to forgive, then we're like chained to these events in the past that have harmed us or harmed other people.
And one thing that just flashed in my mind was, again, the crab bucket analogy, and how fishermen don't have to put a lid on the crab bucket, because if a crab is about to climb out of the bucket, the other crabs will pull it down, because they don't want it to get free. They want them to suffer with everybody else on the bottom. And that's been humanity for a really long time. But I like to imagine the opposite of the crab bucket, where the crab at the top of the bucket reaches back and helps other people up.
Or they form like a pyramid.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, getting to that place of cooperation rather than competition.
Yes.
That's part of the next stage in human development, probably.
And it's okay if you believe a little different.
With each other. Let's share. It's okay if we look different. It's all right.
It's okay if you go to a different church. It's okay if you like a different political party.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay if you have different ways of taking care of your health.
That's fine.
It's okay to be different.
Yeah, and in bottom line, the bottom line is every human has the spark of the infinite intelligence or the higher power within us.
Exactly.
And that's real. Mm-hmm. That's my belief, at least. And if we can get there, then we can just let go of a lot of just othering. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh no, humanity is one. Mm-hmm. Boom. Another way to see the oneness is just to look at physics and string theory too, and that we're all just strings of vital energy. That's reality. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay, so it's a lot different than what we see with our eyes and hear with our ears, So let's just let go of that arrogance too. And our beliefs that hold us back. Let's learn to clear our minds and be open to really developing new beliefs. And let's question beliefs that come at us through the media. Mm-hmm. How about that one?
Or just turn a lot of the media off.
Yeah, or even if you do hear it, just question it. Oh, is that true? Put on the truth continuum, 0 to 10. What are the chances this is true? 0 to 10. Then you start looking, oh, that's like a 6. Oh, that means there's 40% chance it's not true. Interesting. So everything is not so cut and dried. Everything is not so good and bad, black and white, whatever it is.
That's actually a complication of the mind, is to think everything's black or white.
Oh, well, it's all or nothing thinking. Yeah. That's so common. People get exploited because of that. It's like, oh, all those people are bad, period. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
And that's like so many of our structures right now. We have these laws. They have no exceptions. We have all these systems, and so many people are falling through the cracks because there's no exceptions. There's no exceptions to the rule. And it's very black or white. How poor are you? Oh, you're not poor enough to get this service. Or,
no health care for you.
No health care for you, and on it goes. And, oh, sorry, you don't fit this one. You got to go find someone else or some other organization. And then there's so many people that they just don't fit anywhere according to their structures and end up homeless. It's just so
huge
sad.
Huge and growing problem in our culture.
Yeah, and that's black and white thinking. That's no exceptions.
Well, no, in
my opinion.
Well, and a lot of the homeless problem too is like basically politicians don't even address it. So it's black and white from the perspective of, oh, we're not even going to talk about this.
That doesn't exist.
No, let's talk about other things.
Some other country.
Yeah, all right.
Put our nose in their business.
Yeah, all right.
So I do want to wrap back around. Don't want to go too far off on a tangent.
No.
And I want to share that we're going to work on a skill, tool called Ho'oponopono. And this is a way to reboot your process, your internal process. So like we were talking about, we're holding the tone. We have this intention. We see the beautiful world that's possible. And then someone says something that really upsets us. And we're just like falling down we go, like an airplane with a fire engine on fire. And then just falling down. And at some point, wow, in this free fall, there is the conscious thought, I could choose different. And that's where you can put in a skill. And we've taught so many skills on here. So you could always listen to previous shows if you want more skills. But right now, we're going to share the skill Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian prayer. And it's meant for the self. And again, we were talking about the conflict within oneself, not outside, but the conflict within, the response to how do I deal with this person's mean comment to me? How do I deal as I'm free falling and spiraling out of control? Do I use a skill or do I wait to crash and then use the skill? So it's always a choice in that way. As long as you know you have a choice, it's a choice. Before you know it's a choice, you're definitely going to crash. But now you're here, you're with us right now, you're listening, you know you have a choice to catch yourself in that free fall and reboot the mind. Ho'oponopono, again, it's a Hawaiian prayer for the self. You can put your hands on your heart. You can just be in a meditative mind. You can sing along. You can breathe deeply. And it's very simply, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And what its meaning is not that you go and grovel your apologies to just anyone because that's how you feel at the moment. It's about going to the self and saying, I'm sorry for my response. Please forgive me. Talking to your soul, to your higher self. I love you. I'm glad to be united with my higher self. Thank you. Thank you for this knowing that I have a higher self. So this is a really great way to get into integrity with the self. Integrity meaning wholeness. The integrity meaning lack of fracturing, lack of brokenness. So that's where we're going to go. Do you want to say anything about it?
Well, just taking it back to that poem about just this is a way to connect with the higher power within us.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely. Get into integrity, get into that honest consistency within.
Yeah. And if we're able to do that fairly effectively, it makes it that much easier to see everyone else like that too.
Exactly.
From that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're all confused humans, and we all make mistakes.
We're all in this unconscious state of reliving what we know. It's hard. It's hard to believe there's something different than what we know.
Yeah,
it's hard to be open to that, but it is possible.
Yeah, and being open to it is a big step in the right direction. Maybe we can change.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Why not? Why not find out? That's how I continually find the inspiration and the momentum to stay on this path. Is I want to find out if it's real. Somebody told me that I could get enlightened if I go into my pain. Well, heck, I'm going into my pain. I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
That's how I am. It's like you telling me that if I change this loop, I can make utopia? Okay, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, and just see if it helps just feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Which might not be, all the way there, but
it's a start. It's a slow progress.
It's better than going the other way.
It takes time to wake up the unconscious self, wake up the old loops, wake up the old responses and be like, hey, we have a choice here. So
shifting habits is never easy.
Right.
This is just like a way of shifting subconscious and conscious habits of thought.
Exactly. So please enjoy. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you. I thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I
me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
So I wanted to share, we just did Ho'oponopono for a little over 11 minutes, and there is a reason for that. One of my trainings, I have many trainings, let me tell you. I've been trying to heal for a really long time, and I am trained in Kundalini Yoga. I'm a teacher of Kundalini Yoga, or trained as a teacher in Kundalini Yoga. And the parts that I still hold very close to my heart is more the structure, the ethics of how to be a teacher and why to do things for certain amounts of time. So the reason why we did that song in 11 minutes, and I'm just going to read to you off of their website, Kundalini Yoga Research, Kundalini Research Institute.org. 11 minutes of meditation. The pituitary gland, glandular system, and the nerves start to learn and change. The sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems begin to accommodate the increased energy. So in other words, 11 minutes of meditation is really needed to help integrate meditation energy, in short. So that's why we did that for 11 minutes.
Yeah, but I just want to say that, even if you can only manage to meditate for 20 seconds, it's still helpful. Or 5 seconds.
Do you think that's called meditating, or do you think that's just called kind of taking an effort to do a mindful thing?
Like a mindfulness on the fly skill.
Mm-hmm. You think that's meditation?
Maybe. Maybe that's splitting hairs. I'm not sure.
I would call that kind of mindful living. That is.
Yeah.
It's not kind of mindful living. It is mindful living.
Yeah, it's working it into your day, little moments here and there.
Yeah, but meditation for me is very much sitting or standing or walking.
Like sitting on a cushion or sitting on a chair.
Or relaxation, in my opinion,
down.
is meditation. If it's meaningful relaxation, not just sitting in front of a TV, that doesn't count in my book.
No, that's like kind of the opposite of meditation.
It's
because
agitation for the mind.
Well, it's pouring all this data into the mind.
Yeah.
Rather than the mind just kind of processing and letting go of things.
Yeah. And it's not a judgment. I don't mean to judge anyone who prefers watching TV or movies. It's just not something that I do because I just can't handle that kind of input. It's like I have enough input. I've learned that if I want to be healthy, I have to meditate in peace and harmony. And it's a lot of work being healthy if you're me. But I prefer it. Definitely prefer it.
Yeah. Moving in that direction.
Yeah.
Moving towards health, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been on a health mission since I was 16. It's a really long time to be on a mission, folks. But I'm pretty dedicated.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a little distracted. Want to save the world.
Right.
And then I remember, oh yeah, I got to be healthy myself.
Well, that is saving the world, though. I'm just saying.
Saving my world.
According to that poem,
Yeah, that's true.
The way we achieve world being more in harmony with each other is by being more in harmony with ourselves.
Yeah.
That's like the short version of that poem.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, working on being more in harmony with yourself is a very, essentially it's not selfish. A lot of people, oh, that's selfish. It's not selfish. It's because we are all connected in the collective anyway.
Mm-hmm. It's courageous. It is
collective unconscious.
It is such a courageous move to say, I'm going to do everything it takes to get healthy.
Well, yeah, and it's courageous from the perspective of not holding on to beliefs that other people around you are holding on to. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. It's not easy being different, having different thoughts than the tribe. I mean, and that's as far as humanity goes. That's just the way we operate. We want to fit in. But that can be a really negative thing if, like, fitting in 1939 Germany. And a lot of people fit in. It's like, oh, I want to fit into this. And then it really came back to really wreck them in some ways, But that's why it's just so important.
Well, that's that war within, It's like the conflict of, I think really our deep nature, our higher self, our soul knows that we're all interconnected.
Oh, yeah.
Knows that we are meant to love each other. That is really what we're here to do, is be loving to ourselves and loving to each other.
Yeah.
And when there's somebody or something or some higher conglomerate of beings that say, oh, we've decided that we're going to hate these people and destroy them, basically.
Yeah.
So get on board.
Yep. This is the new villain. Yep. This is the new villain.
Yeah. And it's that conflict begins within, right? It begins with, wait a minute. Is this okay? Is this okay to decide that we're going to hate all these people? Is it okay? And then the cognitive dissonance happens, or the lack of cognitive dissonance, right? The cognitive dissonance would be, wait a minute, I'm here for peace. and this is kind of, in my opinion, a new thing for most humans, is again astrologically supported by, oh, right, we can be in peace. But back in the day, it was like, wait, no, cognitive dissonance, can't handle it, must get on board. Safety lies in being in the
group. The group being
think.
accepted. Yeah. Yeah, groupthink.
Yeah, I mean, it really was safer.
Well,
sometimes, maybe. I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, and it is easier to tell people to be hateful towards others if already they're sort of hateful towards themselves.
Right.
Then it's an easy...
Yeah, that's true. Like there already has to be...
Their minds are already in the habit of being angry and being hateful and blaming and shaming. And then it's just like, oh, no, you instead of directing it this way, you direct it that way. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and then...
Yeah, and I just want to bring it back to the meditation and how... it may be deep in the unconscious, deep in the subconscious, to have these painful patterns, these painful responses that hold us individually in these, responses that are not healthy for us. But there's so many lovely tools out there to redirect.
Yeah.
And I have seen people use Ho'oponopono as their main healing modality and watched people transform themselves. And
so the words are...
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
And it's very powerful. It's very much like the metta meditation, which is the Buddhist version. And so this is the Hawaiian version of that loving kindness meditation to the self. And then once you've really worked with the self, you can apply it to others.
Yeah, and for other guys out there, whenever I mean, there will be moments if you're with somebody, let's say you're with a woman and you say something dumb, which most of us guys know that happens from time to time. But then you go into the Ho'oponopono and it helps. It takes the edge off.
It does. I'll be like laughing and crying all the same time.
But we just need to forgive.
Yeah. Forgiveness is really big. Do you want to share your forgiveness protocol?
Yeah, the self-forgiveness protocol, which is really a big deal. Because that, if we can't forgive ourselves, it's like impossible to forgive others probably as well. And just self-forgiveness is a big deal. Because, okay, there's 4 components to the self-forgiveness protocol. Number 1 is all humans make mistakes. Number 2, I am a human. Okay. Number 3, I'm going to try and learn from my mistakes. I'm going to attempt to learn from my mistake. Number 4, I forgive myself. And if we're able to use the self-forgiveness protocol, when we do make mistakes, we can reduce a lot of the negative self-talk. Instead of beating ourselves up over every mistake we make, we begin to realize, oh, I'm a human and I made a mistake. I'm going to try and learn from that. And if I learn from it, it has purpose and meaning, and it could be a good thing, actually, because then it'll help me avoid making a bigger mistake down the road. You know, and so instead of negative self-talk, oh, I'm so stupid, how could I have done that? We go into the self-forgiveness protocol, and then it's very freeing. And it encourages us to grow and evolve and learn from our mistakes, which is really key to growth. Because if we can't learn from our mistakes, we're doomed to make them over and over and over and over. Yeah, and if we're really going to accomplish anything in life, we kind of have to...
We have to be willing to fail.
Yeah, because that's what well, courage, la courage means of the heart, but to really have that courage, we have to be willing to make mistakes and to fail.
Yep.
Because that every time we succeed, there's probably 9 times we fail that precedes that. But if we can keep going, and seeing what's working and just go with that. And
yeah. So I know we've given a lot of information here and it's time's up. We want to thank all of our WDRT listeners out there. And we hope that we shared some hope, some ways of shifting the self-talk within. And we're going to close out with a really beautiful song. I hope you get to hear some of it. And it is the Gayatri, and is all about being the light and letting the divine shine through you. So have a beautiful month and many blessings to you.
Peace and love.
Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhuva Swaha
pacho tayat Om bu buva swaha Tat savito varenyam Bago devasya dimahi Dio yona pacho tayat Om bu buva swaha Tat savito varenyam Bago devasya dimahi Dio yona pacho tayat Om bu buva swaha Tat savito varenyam Bago devasya dimahi Dio yona pacho tayat Om bu buva swaha Tat savito varenyam Bago devasya dimahi Dio yona pacho tayat Om bu buva swaha Tat savitur varenyam Bago devasya dimahi Dio yona prachodayat Om buva swaha Tat savitur varenyam Bargo devasya dimahi Dio yona prachodayat May the light shine through, even in the darkest times. May the light shine through and show us through the tunnel. Big thank you for all those listening on our podcast today. You have made it to the end of the podcast, and I am so grateful for you. We are so grateful for you. And I just want to let you know, in case you didn't know this yet, we have made a new organization, and it's called the Heart Mind Center. So you can go check us out, follow our email list. It is www.theheartmindcenter.org. Check us out. We teach on Insight Timer. I lead meditations in the morning. Monty does a breathwork class on Thursday evening. And we do something very much like this podcast every week, fresh and new on Insight Timer. So would love to see you. What? On Sunday. Satsang on Sunday. And we are also, in case you're in Viroqua, we do an in-person satsang on the first Sunday of the month at the Commons. If you live here, you probably know where that is. And Monty teaches Tai Chi on Saturdays. Both of those are at noon. So much love to y'all. Pass it on to your friends, and wishing you a beautiful month.